Well, hi Achievers, hi, I'm back with 20 Books 2022, got with a title, and this is part of the book club that I'm in. Secondly, God, this stuff is bright, isn't it? Okay, I'm trying to, because the world is going to hell, everything is going up more, bills are shooting up, I'm trying to wear more in my wardrobe, okay, because I had this top for years, sent to me by my friends who actually live in Michigan, and quite nice, isn't it? Very bright for me, it's quite a bright top, so I like it. Not really suits. Let me know. Okay, so yes, change the wardrobe. So, book time. Here we go. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Okay, this book was everywhere like 2 years ago. Here we go. Reclusive Hollywood icon Evelyn Hugo is finally ready to tell the truth about her glamorous and scandalous life. Why she chooses unknown magazine reporter Monique Grant to write her story? No one's more standard than Monique herself. Making her way to Los Angeles in the 1950s to leave show business in the 1980s, and of course the seven husbands along the way, Evelyn unspools a tale of ruthless ambition, unexpected friendship, and a great forbidden love. But as Evelyn's story nears its conclusion, it becomes clear that her life intersects with Monique's own in tragic and irreversible ways. Okay, so you can imagine like Betty Davis, Greta Garbo, Joan Crawford, sitting down there just telling their life stories. And it starts off quite positively. It starts off with Monique. She's having probably the worst time of her life. Her husband, she's spent with her husband. She's kind of all alone. She's trying to really kind of like find a fit in this world of the magazine industry. And she's very, very talented. She's a very, very talented writer. But it's just trying to get her name out there more. And she's literally plucked. Imagine being plucked from the writing pool to interview Evelyn Hugo. Okay, based on an article that's actually written about people who wish to, like groups that kind of like take their lives move along, which is why she thinks she was hired, because of her warm, empathetic and sensitive writing. Okay, right, here we go, just here, right. And the fact is though is this, because a lot of this is from Evelyn's first point, like Monique's first point perspective is a lot of eyes in this, and kind of the info dump, let's be here. It's enough marriage to end as the Irma ended in divorce when she was 18. The studio set up courtship and Tom just married to Hollywood royalty Don Adler. Dreamers that she left him because he beat her. A comeback in a French New Wave film. The quickie Vegas elopement with singer Mark River. A glamorous marriage to the dapper Rex North, which ended in them both having affairs. Beautiful love story of her life with Harry Cameron and the birth of their daughter Connor. The heartbreaking divorce and a very quick marriage to old director Max Gerard. Right, so that's it. Going on from there. So it lays out these husbands who we're going to meet along the way. And it's very interesting as well, okay, because Monique is biracial and also so is Evelyn. She is Cuban American. And it is very, very interesting what she actually had to do, okay? And this is a book which everyone wants to kind of get their mitts into. It's if someone's actually trying to, do a book on Greta Garbo, who was not reclusive in a way. I guess she just wanted to be left alone. It wasn't I want to be alone. She just wanted to be left alone and just do her own thing. Okay? Right. I'm not trying to be ungrateful, but I deserve to know why one of the most famous actresses of all time will pluck me out of obscurity to be a biographer and have the opportunity to make millions of dollars of her story. To have an post reporting like a semi-autobiography for much as $12 million. Jesus Christ. The way Evelyn is having so much fun with this, the way it seems to like is shocking me, lets me know that this is at least a little bit of a power play. Let's be cavalier about things that would change other people's lives. Isn't that very different to power? Watching people kill themselves over something that means nothing to you. Right. And so the issue was, why did Evelyn pick Monique? Why? Okay, and it is really, really interesting, okay, how it's all kind of set up. Now, being a Cuban American in America, like 1950s, is the whole process of reinvention. Essentially, even Hugo is an invention, okay? She marries very, very young. She goes off to Hollywood. She gets like the kind of what she wants. There's an element of being a sociopath, okay, about this. And this is after she's kind of like plucked. She says to her husband, who she lied about her age. She actually was underage when she got married. She lied about her. She lied about everything. She's playing this role of being a domestic goddess, saying to her husband, "I've got a bit of scenes for films, maybe she's acting like it's a little bit of fun, just and then no, but this bit here, okay, right." I set the star machine in motion. Hat introduced me to studio stylist Gwendolyn Peters. Gwen bleached my hair and cut my shoulder length bob. She shaped my eyebrows. She plucked my widow's peak. I met with a nutritionist. Made me lose 6 pounds exactly. Most by taking up smoking and playing smells with cabbage soup. I met with a elocutionist who got rid of my New York and my English, who banished the Spanish entirely. Okay? Right. And then, of course, there's a 3-page questionnaire I had to fill out about my life until then. What did my father do for a living? What did I like to do in my spare time? Did I have any pets? When I told him my honest answer, the researcher read it in one sitting and said, "Oh no, this won't do. For now on, your mother died in an accident, leaving your father to raise you. He worked as a builder in Manhattan and on weekends during the summer. I take to Coney Island. If anyone asks, you love tennis and swimming, and you have a St. Bernard named Roger." Okay, reinvention. It's interesting as well because obviously being Cuban American, she loses her Spanish heritage. She cut herself off from it. Even when later on she's speaking Spanish, she feels fake doing it. Essentially, Evelyn, okay, is gone, and here stands Evelyn Hugo, an invention. And Ernest is absolutely banished, and they get a quickie divorce, and are paid off, and it's yeah, her husband is paid off, and goes on to actually live a wonderful, wonderful life. Okay, okay. So, and it's kind of brief. It's kind of done. I got use you to get where I want to in this journey, and now I'm going on. Okay. Actually, the way I see it, Ernest had a great life afterwards. He married, had a couple of kids, and had a wonderful life. And then it's Roger Adler, okay, husband number 2. Now, she's firmly now entrenched into the studio system, okay? Right, this bit here. And it's all an absolute game. It's all just publicity. It's all just, the two power couples. The Brad and Angelina of their time. Right. No one was expected to play the game exactly the way his parents wanted it played. Even then, I could tell he was eager to get out of their shadow to eclipse their stardom with his own. Don't have been raised to believe that fame was the only power worth pursuing. What I loved about him was he was ready to become the most powerful person in the room and become the most adored. And it became a very, very abusive relationship. To the point where she couldn't deal with it anymore. She had to get out of that terrible situation. And it's obviously behind closed doors. And it's also really interesting as well is the fact that Evelyn kept this quiet, which obviously at the time would be career suicide. I guess, someone speaking up saying, okay, he abused me. But she never really warns other women just casually against him either. She kind of keeps it all to herself. She kind of the way I would close my heart to Don is just keep quiet, keep quiet. And then she meets during the kind of very, very bitchy world of the Hollywood scandals, Hollywood lies, and everyone's intermixing City of St. James. Very struck up a friendship. Okay, now it's the 7 husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Okay, however, these husbands now know the love of her life. It was Celia. Okay, and one thing I did like is that Evelyn makes it clear to Monique where she stands with this. Okay, when it comes to kind of sex and kind of sex binary, if you will. Okay, right. Right. I heard the word lesbian. My bus started beating so fast that my pulse was all I could hear. I was not paying attention to what was flying out of Ruby's mouth. I didn't catch certain words like girl and rug and twisted. Skin on my chest felt hot, my ears burned. I did my best to calm myself, and when I did, when I was focused on Ruby's words, okay, I finally heard the other piece of what she was trying to tell me. Right. Before you get a better hand on your husband, by the way. Right. When she said, I didn't think, oh my god, my husband is cheating on me, I thought I have to find Celia. Because Celia was the love of her life. Okay? Right. And, but she makes it clear to Monique where she stands. Okay, right. This is when the fashion back to the present. So this book, your biography, you're ready to come out as a gay woman, right? Even closes her eyes for a moment, and at first she is processing the weight of what I said. When she opens her eyes again, I realize she is trying to process my stupidity. Having even listened to a single thing I've told you, I love Celia, but also before I loved her, I loved Don. Had a positive that if Don hadn't turned to be such a particular arse, I would never have to be capable for another with someone else at all. I'm bisexual. Don't ignore half of me so you can fit me to your box, Monique. Don't do that. Thank you. No. Snark aside about this situation, because Evelyn, she is not particularly at times a very, very good person, okay? She is kind of very manipulative, she's selfish, she's entitled, she does screw a lot of people around, she makes a lot of people unhappy with her actions, but at the same time, I did also like the fact she's very kind of honest about it. She makes no bones about it. She owns her mistakes and her life. She owns what she put into it. She knows that she cut herself off and she embraces that. Yes, I'm Cuban American. I can't no longer speak Spanish. I lost my way across the line. Okay? I messed up in my marriage. I did this. Okay? It's very, very refreshing, but at the same time, the issue is the fact that it goes on, Evelyn keeps getting married, and every single book starts off in regards to their husbands, like Gullible Mike Reaver, okay, or like poor Ernest, or find another husband. Goddamn Don Adler, okay, kind of setting the tone again for what we know about them. And it's also quite interesting as well how the star system is played out throughout Hollywood. That's what I like, because Celia and Evelyn kind of do hook up, and they kind of form a kind of like a couple, okay, with Celia's husband and her husband, okay. This is when she marries her manager, okay, right. Like she marries her manager Harry, who is married to Celia marries John. She and I spent our nights together in this apartment. Harry spent his nights with John at their place. Went out to dinner in public. The four of us looked at us like two pairs of heterosexuals, about heterosexual in the in in the bunch. The tabloids called us America's favourite double daters. I even had rumours that the four of us were swingers, which wasn't that crazy that period of time. It makes you think, doesn't it, that people were so eager to believe we were swapping partners, but we would have been scandalised to learn that we were monogamous and queer. Right. As also as well, okay, because obviously this is happening in a time between the 50s and 80s. There's a massive shift in the politics, okay. However, none of them can come out. It's all rumours and speculation, okay, or the thing that shall not be said. Ever watch the film The Celluloid Closet? Okay, text and subtext, a lot of that going on, and at times I found Evelyn very, very frustrating. However, I also really, really enjoyed it. However, my issue with this book is overall, I loved hearing about how Evelyn is also a bit of a mess up. She kind of seems to jump on the bandwagon very much later. She's kind of like, oh, AIDS research is going on. Oh, I better jump onto that. She's not really kind of like a pioneering spirit, okay? She kind of comes to it later on, like, oh, everyone else is doing it, so I better hop onto it now, okay? She is kind of like, she watches, but she doesn't really get involved. She watches the Stonewall riots on TV, but she's not kind of like underground, actually doing anything, okay? So in a more clandestine way. So she kind of like keeps that kind of like separate. And my issue with this is that imagine someone sitting there telling, imagine this being a film, and if it's not a film, a TV show should be great. Is that the every single chapter starts with I. It's all based on from Evelyn's point of view, and I thought that was lacking. Normally in a film, when someone starts talking about what happened back then, and it's lots of flashback, the flashback music, it's been 83 years, okay, it's all seen from Rose's perspective, but it does switch narratives. It should have been more like that. Instead of being the first person narrative, okay, it should have been the third person, but it wasn't, which I think kind of like the book, as everything is seen from Evelyn's point of view. She's biased, obviously, because it's a story, but I felt that it was lacking, and the kind of twist which kind of brings Monique and Evelyn together, I felt very, very underwhelmed, which I'm actually going to spoil, okay? But overall, I actually did enjoy this book. It's good in places, it kind of drags in places. It's a story, okay, of a woman who is a siren of her day, and just telling her story. She's flawed and she's kind of tragic in places, and she's trying to be good, but I feel like she's not. That's what I liked about it. So anyway, 20 books 2022 is 17 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I'm signing off.